Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to learn how I create custom chip bags. I'm going to show you guys my method that I use. This here is already a printed copies of custom chip bags. I've already gotten started. I'm showing you here with two examples of Cheetos and Ruffle chips that I'm using. These chips are 1 ounce chips. Depending on where you're from, sometimes the chips can be an ounce or they can be in grams. So in Canada, I know that it's 28 grams. The US, it's usually a 1 ounce. They're usually roughly about the same. What really makes them different is how much air really is in the chips can make it a little bit more challenging when you're going to actually assemble the custom chip bag. So you'll need a glue gun. I preferably like to use the larger size glue gun, and I'm just showing you here the folding method that I use once the custom chip bag design is printed. So you want to fold it so that the middle design is what will be showing at the front. So you're just going to take a section, and if you're going off of the template, which we do have the template available on the website for the custom chip bag, it does show you where the ends of the back meet, so that you know exactly how to fold it just based on that guide as well. But once you design the chip bag, you're just going to fold it to meet the design from the back on both flaps. And you just want to have it go over one side of the flap, just slightly go over one side of the flap, because you're going to be gluing. I like to use hot glue. I don't normally use double-sided tape or the tape runner. It works easier for me to use the hot glue. It just secures the actual chip bag better for me. And as I mentioned before, depending on the type of chips as well, sometimes some of the chip bags have a lot of air in them. And when it has a lot of air in them, it makes it harder for it to seal, as well as to keep that seal if you're not using a hot glue gun. So that's why I like to use a hot glue gun, because it definitely keeps it secure. So you're just going to place some hot glue on one side, and then you're going to glide that together, glide your finger through the back, the middle, to secure that glue. I like to hold it just for a couple of seconds just to make sure it's secure before moving on to gluing the next section. Now, the next section that I usually like to work with is the bottom of the chip bag. And what I like to do first is, as you see here, I'm pressing it down at the bottom just to kind of give it that formation, so that it's easier to secure and hold that glue. So I put a generous amount of glue at the bottom, and you just let the glue cool just a second, just a few seconds, and then just glide your finger through at the bottom to ensure that the glue is being distributed all the way through at the very bottom, so that you don't have any openings. Because especially if you're shipping these, you don't want them to open at any point in time. You just want to make sure that your chip bag is completely secure. So it's fairly easy to create these custom chip bags and to assemble them once you've created your design. So before I even do the top, I let the back and the bottom just dry for a few seconds, just dry for a couple of minutes first before I even do the top. Because sometimes what will happen, especially with the hot glue, it's hot, so it may not close up right away. I like to make sure that it is. So I leave the top open, and I'll go on to another chip bag. Sometimes I'll go, depending on how many chip bags I have to actually assemble, I'll do probably 6 or 12 chip bags before sealing the top, because I just want to make sure that it's fully secure and closed. So here I am just applying the glue on one side of the chip bag, and then I'm going to fold it over. And again, depending on the chip bag that you're using, if it has a lot of air, you may have to just push it down and make sure that it's properly positioned in the chip bag design. I like to pull the chip bag design itself at the top and the bottom. Again, that's just to help to make it secure. Press down and build that formation at the bottom of the chip bag before applying the glue. And this just helps to make it look more of the actual chip bag once you got the glue going on it. Because if not, you may find that when you're doing a chip bag without doing that little tip there that I just showed you, sometimes your chip bag is not going to look as straight. It might look crinkled and and warped at the bottom. I like to do that by pressing it down so that you're having smooth, clean lines throughout your actual chip bag and at the top and the bottom. And as you can see, that was a generous amount of glue that I used because, again, I'm using, I believe it's 60-watt glue. I don't remember the exact size of that, but I'm using the larger size glue gun because that's going to pump out as much glue as I need. You could use a smaller glue gun if you prefer, but I just like to work with the bigger one because it just lets my chip bags more secure. So you see how straight the line is at the bottom? So like I said, now I'm going to go back to the first example of the custom chip bag that I was gluing. And what I'm doing there, I'm just wiping off the glue. Like sometimes you get those little strands of glue when you're working with a hot glue gun. So I'm just dusting that off, wiping that off so that it's not on the finished product of the chip bag. Now, again, it is a personal preference of what you'd like to use, whether or not you want to use a hot glue gun, you want to use double-sided tape, or if you want to use a tape runner. You can use either one of those options, and I'll list them as well in the description for the links to those if you prefer using either one of those. Some people don't like to use a hot glue gun, and I understand because, yeah, I've had a lot of burns from hot glue guns as well. So sometimes you don't want to work with a hot glue gun because it can be a little hard sometimes to work with it. But using a tape runner or double-sided tape might work for you better. Hot glue gun works better for me. So this is what I like to use. And I find that you can go through making these custom chip bags a lot faster with a hot glue gun. And that again is a personal preference. So as you can see with that one right there, it's straight. And you can see the positioning of the chip bag. They're not crinkled at the bottom. It's a straight line, straight edges at the top and the bottom. So I'm just going to do the other chip bag as well. And normally Ruffles or Cheetos are not the only type of brand of chip bags that I use. I use different brands as well. Doritos, regular Lay's potato chips, as well as popcorn, Smart Food popcorn chips. It kind of depends on the customer's preference. And if a customer doesn't have a preference of the type of chip bag that they would like, then I may use a mixture, or I just might use the popular ones, which is usually Doritos or Cheetos, the popular chip bags that kids like. And custom chip bags are not just for kids' parties. They work great for baby showers. I've also had corporate orders for branding for using chip bags. As well, the actual chip bag design itself, you can use it and put lashes in there. If you're a lash artist, you could use it and put a lot of different things. I've done them for Valentine's Day and Halloween with adding not just candy and chips, but little toys based on the theme of Halloween or Valentine's Day. So here I'm just squeezing in the middle because you could do that as well just to create that chip bag form. So yep, this was a baby Cookie Monster birthday theme. The client requested a light blue with gold and white and a chocolate brown design, and that's what I created for her. This was actually a big order because there was other items that went with the custom chip bag design, but I hope you guys are able to now feel confident with creating your own custom chip bags. Now, you do have the option to use this crimper to crimp the bottoms. I normally do not crimp the top and the bottoms of my chip bags. I just like how it looks without. You could also use the scissors that gives you those rigged lines as well. And again, that's not something that I personally do with my chip bags, but these are options that are available to you. There will be links available. And here are the finished products of the custom chip bags. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to subscribe.